us can, because you guys got it. Perfect. So to get us started, some of us may be running iOS 15, which when we talk about iOS, that's the operating system on the iPad. And then
I was about to say, Pinay, how would you tell?
Oh, how would I tell how I'm going to run it?
How what my operating system is?
So I'm going to find this little gear here, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go to General. So if you notice here, if we think about this on our iPad as a computer, we are going to talk about this left side has our essentially like our dock or our home landing page. And within that, it opens up other menus on the right. And so on the left-hand side, we're going to click on General, and we're going to go over here to where it says Software Update. And it's going to check for update. And you can say, woohoo, Janae did not update to iOS 16 because she's running two different iPads, and one is updated and one is not. And so we're just going to go with it. And Megan has the updated version. So Megan and I are going to pop back and forth on what we're showing. But this is always how you check to see what version of iOS or the latest software that you're running. And I highly, highly recommend that you always have this on right here that says automatic updates, because one key thing that Apple always does in almost every single one of their updates is they update the accessibility features. So always keep that on and keep that running. So when we go back up here, we're going to talk about the little menus that we see here. This is essentially our back button. Some of you have iPads where the home button has disappeared. If you double click the home button, that will move you back out. If not, you can swipe up from the bottom and that brings you out of that app. But when I click back, that brings me back to this home page of my menu for General. Okay, so Megan, do you also, while we're here in General,
yes,
it's super important that you all click on your About. Why, you ask? Because this is a key fact for on iPhones too. Have you ever been on a plane or somewhere and children randomly start airdropping you? Because they see that your iPad has a name or your iPhone has a name. Many times your iPhone just says iPhone. Sometimes it has your name on there. Mine says Crafty iPad because it doesn't totally identify who I am. But all you have to do is click on here and you can change the name. If you're using an iPad that was issued to you by your school or your department, you may or may not be able to change that name because they may have it locked. So if it is one from the CREC, you can actually click on it and you can put a hyphen on it, because I think mine has like 4506. So you want to keep that one number on there, but you can like add something to it. The 4506 allows for Cristobal and Corey or whoever manages your iPads to be able to push out apps to you. So that's kind of a cool thing to know. But on your phone, I highly suggest taking your name off of there, because people will airdrop you things and say, hey, Megan, hey, Candace, how's it going? And you don't know who the heck they are. So fun fact, we were doing a training and they saw that I had airdrop on my computer, and I got airdropped 45,000 memes the entire time I was there.
Oh my goodness.
And
the whole high school was doing it.
Yes. So it was awesome. So with that, in general, this is where you're going to find a lot of your key pieces of information in where your iPad is going to work. So fun fact, if your battery is dying, I'm not going to do it, but if you want to quickly charge your iPad in between sessions, you're going to put it into airplane mode. If I put it into airplane mode, you guys will lose all visuals from me, but you can quickly charge your iPad once it is in airplane mode. Going down the iPad, so we're going to do accessibility, but also some of the basic stuff, just some good information on your iPad. Notice on the Wi-Fi, I'm on my home Wi-Fi here, but this is where a good thing to check if your iPad's not connecting, turn your Wi-Fi on and off, just toggle that little button right here, on and off, and that gets your iPad back on. It also bumps your iPad back to the top of the router and kind of moves you to get prime Wi-Fi location on that. So that's a good thing to know. Bluetooth is another amazing feature that you would want to have on, depending on if you're using AirDrop and or if you have switches or wireless headphones, or you're connecting to your car, if you listen to music, that's how you're going to use your Bluetooth. There are many other ways that we can connect with our Bluetooth.
We can even connect to hearing aids. So just so you know, hearing aids have a port straight in with through Bluetooth now.
Absolutely. And this is also how you connect your Apple Pencil many times too. So you can see here on my devices, my pencil is there, and it's just because it's sitting over on the side. It could mean that it is dead. So as soon as I connect it to the side, I'll get a little button that pops up that tells me Apple Pencil, that is why. So now it is connected and it is totally dead. So while we're talking, it will charge, which is awesome. As we work our way down this, we're going to come back to notification sounds and screen time. And we're going to actually jump into, Megan, where would you like to jump to?
Let's go straight into accessibility. Might as well.
Fantastic. So notice that I'm using this cool little guy as a pointer. We will show you how to do that when you're demoing and working in your classes. But we're going to jump right here into accessibility. So this is our first favorite feature that we have. Megan, do you want to start with?
Yeah, can I yes and?
Absolutely.
So don't worry if your iPad looks a little bit different, because as she was talking about the different versions of the iPad operating system, they add and remove things, they move them, unfortunately, and then we have to go on a little hunt. So if you're seeing slight differences, feel free to speak up or put something in the chat so we make sure that we are able to find it for you, or let you know whether or not it's available on your operating system. So I'll give you my little accessibility spiel real fast. What I will say is that the iPad is one of the most accessible things in the world. And there are probably 90% of the things on this list you will never use, because it can be adapted for an individual to run it with their voice only if they're not able to touch the screen. They can move their head and it will move the mouse around the screen, and then they can actually give a voice command to touch the screen and have it click. There are running captions for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. It will even recognize when you have the camera up, if you're blind, what's in front of you. You can hold the camera in and it will tell you what object is in front of you. So we're not going to go all over that today. If somebody is interested in one of the aspects as we go through, please let us know, because I love to geek out on this stuff. But just know that also when you start to play with them, occasionally you will get stuck in there. And the number one thing right there is that people get stuck in is voiceover. So Janae, do you mind clicking on voiceover?
I totally can.
Awesome. Now I'm bringing this up. Please don't turn it on your device, because it is very hard to turn off. I'm bringing it up because if you are in an iPad or an iPhone and say your kid or your grandkid has been playing with your device and all of a sudden it keeps talking and talking and talking and you can't get it to stop, that is voiceover. And voiceover is really meant for individuals who are blind. It also works with Braille and allows individuals to navigate the whole iPad with no vision at all. And I do work with individuals like that in my AT career that run an iPad with no vision at all. It's that amazing. So I would highly recommend not turning this on. Instead, there's another feature that I really want you to turn on. So we're going to jump back out of our voiceover and down about 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's spoken content. And that is the one that you're going to really love. So as you go in here, you can play with this. You can't get stuck in here, and it's not breakable or anything. So I would go ahead and I would turn on these selections. I would turn on speak selection, speak screen. I turn on, because I use this all the time, I turn on my little speak controller, which is just a little thing that docks on the side. Do you mind turning it on just to show them what it looks like? Awesome. So now we've got this little guy who pops up in the corner and can read it anytime, but it can get annoying. So just know that sometimes it gets in your way and you have to move it around. So most people who don't use text to speech all the time don't turn this guy on. All right, let's go back one. There we go. And then we're going to turn on the highlight content. And here we can have it highlight words and sentences. I like that feature, but it's up to you which one you like. And I like background color, but some people like it to be underlined as it's read out loud. And there are some really great colors down here that you can choose depending on what you want it to highlight to. Now, this is the amazing part of this. Now you can go anywhere in the iPad and it will read anything out loud. So for individuals who struggle with reading, that can be very powerful. But also, if you're just needing your emails read out loud while you're doing something else, or you want something from the New York Times read out loud while you're doing the dishes, this is a great way to do it. So everybody can kind of follow along if they want and go into Safari once those things are turned on. And let's go into one of these articles. Let's see, world's tallest woman. That sounds incredible. There we go. And we're going to highlight some text here just in the article itself. There we go. And now when we release, we'll see something on the top that says speak. So we're going to go ahead and press speak.
Rumisa Jelji has held the record for the world's tallest living woman since
And of your British
2021. The 24-year-old, who stands just over 7 feet tall, frequently travels to share her story, but never on an airplane.
No. If you don't like that voice, you can change that voice. You can make it faster or slower. There are a lot of voices here. So if we go, oh, whoops, we could do it just back in accessibility.
Sorry.
Oh, no, we're all good. And in spoken content. And here, if you click on voices and English, you could do lots of different languages. Then there are a ton of ones that you can either have on your iPad or download. Some are incredibly natural now. Some of the newest ones, like Ava, no, not Ava, let's see, Alex. I'm trying to look for the bigger ones. Some of them, yeah, it may be with the update as well. They'll have an enhanced version of the voice, and the larger the install, the better the voice. So that could be a really powerful tool. Has anyone used that before? No, it's really incredible. Just turning on that switch for students in classrooms is huge. It allows them to really access just about anything.
Megan, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
When you
Speak
put it on that
selection,
page,
read
the
selected
page-
content.
Well, I'm sorry, just a second. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. Is there a way to have it read all of everything that's on that page instead of what you selected?
Oh, I love you. I'll pay you for that later. Yes,
Okay.
you totally can. So there's two different ways. One is a 2-finger swipe from the top of the page, and it will start at the top and go
News,
down.
books, English, Spanish, products. Open
I
sidebar.
don't
World's
really
tallest
love that
woman
one a
takes her
ton
first ever
because
flight.
it
Sign
doesn't
in.
allow me to know where to go. So she just entered my favorite one, which is, okay, can you collapse it back down?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So there's just hovering there. And if you click on the little arrow, then it comes up, and just like a tape recorder, that's how old I am, you can either press that little finger thing, and then wherever you touch, it starts there and keeps going.
Rumisa
or you
Jelji
can
has
just press
held
the
the.
button. There we go.
So
And, oh, go ahead, hon.
here's the finger.
Rumisa Jelji has held the.
I don't know why it stopped, but and then if you hit play,
News, books,
it's gonna start back up at the top. Sorry.
And you can press fast forward or rewind. You saw that there. And then you can make it faster or slower really quickly. And that's the way I usually do it. I just keep it kind of hovering on my screen, so it's always there for me. So That can be really powerful. Janae, do you want to do the Safari stuff since we're in here?
I will absolutely do the Safari
Okay,
stuff.
cool.
So, oh my goodness, we love Safari and there's cool things. If you've never been to Dogo News, this is a great place to get some kid-friendly news information for your kiddos. So do you notice up here at the top where we see these little A's? This is built in and it's super exciting. When I click on that, I can show in reader mode. So when as soon as I click it into reader mode, notice it took away all the other distractions and it just brought that article to life. Notice how my background color changed. Well, you wonder how that happened. So right below that, now that we're in reader mode, notice I can change it back to white. I can change it to this tannish color. I can change it to the gray color, or I can do the black contrast with that. So for those students who need that extra visual cues, or if you like to read while you're out on the beach or in the sun, this is a great way to have that text still be there so that you can see what's going on in your screen. The other cool thing is you see this little A. If I click it, notice my font is shrinking on the tiny one. When I click on the large A, it goes a lot larger as well. When I go back to the A, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that the 16.0, if you're in there, you'll see even more options in there for things like letter spacing and word spacing as well.
Do you want me to stop sharing and you pull it up for the latest and greatest?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's do it.
All right, well, keep going, and then I will pull it up right now.
Okay. So if you guys want to play, do you want me to stop sharing or you're good? Notice too, as soon as Megan kicks me off, that you can change the font. So right now it was in San Francisco, but notice all these font choices that you have. So if you need to change the letters or the font, if you want to move it to Georgia, you can change it to a friendlier font for your students. And so now Megan is taken over, I think, hopefully.
All right, can you see me?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, just a second.
It says double click to enter full screen mode.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. That's so interesting. Okay, just a second.
You're good.
Da, da, da. And just a fair warning, because we're running all these things at the same time, we may have some crashes, which is why we have two up right now. All right, let's see. It's counting down. Let's see. Are we up?
It says we're screen. Yep, now we're up.
Yay! Okay, so in the newest version, they have some other options up here. When you show the reader, oh, why is it not doing it now? That is so funny. Just a second. Do you see it now?
I see the reader. There it is. I see.
Yeah, but it had increased options. It had 6 colors, and let me go back to the real page. Try one more time. That is so weird.
Oh, look, your menu even changed.
Yeah, that is so weird.
Maybe it's the website.
We're all gonna go, yay! And
Try
I'll work on it. We'll try to get it. All right. So do you want to go ahead and I'll drive for a few minutes?
Absolutely. So not only can we use those little features in the toolbar up there, but when Megan clicks on, say she clicks on that first paragraph of San Francisco or anywhere, just grab some text and have that little menu pop up right there. Perfect. Notice now in that menu bar, since we turned on the speak, we have that, but look what else popped up in there. There's this thing called translate. So when Megan clicks on translate, oh my goodness, we can immediately translate stuff for our students on the fly. And look at that little play button.
Just a second. Usually
San
comes right through.
Francisco Elon Musk continuó cortando la fuerza de
No?
trabajo de Twitter en su tercera semana de ser. San Francisco Elon Musk continuó cortando la fuerza de
Yay!
trabajo
All
de
right, you
Twitter en
take
su
over,
tercera
girl.
semana de ser propietario de la
Awesome.
empresa de redes sociales,
Yeah,
despidiendo a
for some reason
empleados
it's
que
not
lo
doing it.
habían criticado y eliminando a los contratistas.
But I had to
Temprano el
close it
martes,
while we
señor,
were
el equipo
presenting
de.
and then open back up.
Okay.
Awesome. So you can translate on the fly with that. So those are just some of the amazing features that take place on Safari in your iPad. So not only can we change the color, we can allow for the color contrast for our students, we can actually translate. So now what we're going to show you is I'm going to pop over because I will tell you in theory, because I'm trying to drive it. Our camera is pretty powerful, right? So this is the crazy world Janae lives in. Here's all her monitors, right? This is my office, but I'm going to come over here and let's talk about the camera. So did you guys notice, do you see this little box that's popping up? If you're in a dark room and there's a sun there, you can actually slide the sun up and down to get lighter or darker. So say you liked the lighting over here better, you can actually lock that lighting in and take your photo for that, which is really a cool feature. But I want to show you something that's super, super amazing. So if I come back here and I adjust my lighting, right? Because I'm in a dark room for some reason. So you guys are looking at my daughter's fabulous form because of taking stuff for soccer boosters. What if my kiddos needed to be able to read their content? Oh, now that I've messed with that, hold on, let me turn my live. Just a minute. Let me see why my camera did not work here. Okay, I'm going to come back. There it is. Okay, so notice on my camera, do you notice how those little yellow bars appeared? And then right up here, I have this new icon. When I click this, watch what happens. Oh, wait, wait, come back.
Yeah, pull back just a little. There you go.
Okay. It grabbed the text, and now watch what happens when I say speak sentence.
Uniforms and equipment. Student athletes and their parents' guardians are responsible.
So it's going to start to read text that's within a picture. How mind-blowing is that? How many times have we showed our students a picture book or there is stuff in a locked PDF? My students can instantly open up the camera and be able to have that text grabbed and read to them.
It is
now,
cool, isn't it, camera? Or comma? Which one is it?
Wait, what?
Oh, comma with
Camera.
Camera. Awesome, thanks. Camera was saying it was really cool. And I was like, yes, it is.
So with that, also, we just showed you translate in Safari. Look what happens when I hit translate here. It just grabbed the word and equipment. But if I pull all of this down and I say translate, notice it translated it all into French and it's still going to speak French.
Et l'équipement avec. Une semaine du dernier match de la saison en aussi bon état qu'il a été reçu.
And then I hit pause. So by having this little feature here, I can also copy this translation and do what we call app smashing. And so I can swipe up from the bottom and I can click over here in my little toolbox area and I can go to my notes and I'm going to open up a new note and I can tap on there and I can say paste. And now I have pasted that text in there from that photo. So you can, the cool thing about an iPad is the apps talk to each other. So you could paste this into notes. You could paste it into Pages. Pages is like your word processing tool, like a Microsoft Word or a Google Doc, but that is what it is called on an iPad is Pages. So
Can
my
I guess,
students,
Anne?
yes, go ahead.
I mean, this makes you so much more productive when you have like somebody gives you a handout or something like that. And you really need to take all the text off or retype it. Think about that. Like you don't have to translate it. You could just swipe the area that you need. It captures it as a copy, just like you would copy off a web page, and you can paste it anywhere. It's so cool.
Which we love. Yay!
Yay.
Any questions on that before we jump to the next one? Okay, we're going to jump back into our settings and we're going to go back into accessibility because there's a couple ones in here that we super love. This Zoom one if I turn on Zoom and you have a student who needs that extra magnifying glass, it automatically pops up and will zoom in around on your iPad in the text area. Notice here when I have turned that on, I've also turned on my keyboard shortcuts. This is key because sometimes our students don't know how to get out of it with the magnifying glass, but my magnifying glass is going to live there, and I'm going to go back into Safari and look at this. If my kiddo needed to have that read to them larger, or if we as an adult needed that extra large font, then I'm going to take my 3 fingers, and when I 3-finger tap, because I have that shortcut turned on, it just disappears. When I 3-finger tap back on my screen, it pops back up. So these are called gestures or shortcuts that we have built in. When I click on this little guy here as well, I can allow for my zoom size, so I can zoom in or I can zoom out. With that, I can actually add in a filter if I want it grayscale. Like, sky's the limit on all of these things that you can change. You can resize your lens, so I can adjust my lens so it's smaller, a little more functional. I can show my controller. So here's my controls to zoom in or zoom out. And then I can change my filter back to have none on there. But this little guy he can go all over, and then I can adjust him with my finger as well. So I've added in another little hand controller so that I don't have to actually take the magnifying glass here, but I can control it with this. It's almost like a joystick, but built on your screen. This little guy right here, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to 3-finger tap, and that turns it off. And now I'm going to head back into my accessibility, and that is Zoom. So as we're working our way down the accessibility area, we also have display and text slides.
Yeah, I was about to say,
goodness,
can we do that one? Because that's really helpful for me now that I'm losing my vision.
Go, Megan, talk about it, and I'll be damned.
Cool. I change almost everything on this page because without my glasses, I can't see a thing. And so I love to put on bold text. That makes it much easier for me to scan the iPad. You can see how much clearer that is, right? When I go into larger text, in the regular display settings, they have just 4 different tiers of getting larger. In the accessibility section, they have a huge range. And so, Janae, do you mind turning it up for a second? There we go. Look at that. And this doesn't just change your menus, it changes settings within a lot of apps as well. So look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's really big. It's able to be read without my glasses. And it annoys my husband like crazy because everything is so big. So as we go back in, and we can bring that app, there we go, bring it on down. And we're going to go back to the menu. There are also some other things in here. The button shapes allow you to see the buttons better. No, it's fine. And increased contrast allows like the grays to be darker and the whites to be whiter. So that's also a really nice thing to do. Now you can see it even clearer. And there are some others in here that I'm not going to have her turn on, because if she turns them on, it will need to restart. But the smart invert is kind of like the blacks turn to whites and the whites turns to blacks. And my favorite one is down on the bottom, the color filters. Oh, you were able to do it without restarting. That's awesome. Yeah, that's nice. So the color filters are actually made for individuals with who are unable to see the difference between like red and green. So if she turns on that switch there, we'll actually see profiles right under the pencil. There you go, perfect. And it even knows what type of color blindness you might have. So it will take away those colors and replace them with more dynamic colors that are good for somebody with that. You can also turn up and down the intensity depending on how much you can't really see the colors. So Any questions about those?
No,
I
it's
saw
not
people
showing.
lean forward. I'm like, how do we get them on?
How
Yeah,
funny it's not displaying it because it's not showing the gray.
interesting. It might be
totally-
just the projection thing.
Yeah, so it totally turned everything grayscale, which is
Yeah.
cool.
So you can try it on yours too and turn it on and off. The rest of this is, if you scroll down the page, isn't, I don't usually turn them on and off except for the auto brightness at the bottom, which actually saves your battery. So if it realizes you're not looking at the page, then it will actually just bring the brightness down just a little bit to save your battery life. And that's really nice on a trip or something like that where you can't charge it. So I think that's all that's really important on that page.
Love it. You want to talk
Cool.
a little bit about motion? Because sometimes people don't really know what that one does.
Yes, totally. So most of these things are for individuals with motor control issues. So that could be Parkinson's or cerebral palsy. There are a lot of different things in here that are helpful. But sometimes if you've got maybe a young kid using the iPad, or you don't like things like a 4-finger swipe up or a 3-finger tap and things like that, you can go into the touch section, and in here they can accommodate those touches for you. I use it most often when my students who I work with break their screens because if you turn, I go into assistive touch, and she's got, that's what her little dot is there. Then you can actually tell it what you want it to do. And a lot of students aren't able to like click and what is that called? Zoom, click and zoom, you know, that like that. And so this allows them to do that. Or if one of your buttons dies, if you open it up again, that would be awesome. Then like here, Siri is usually triggered by a button, a physical button, but you could actually have it on the screen or a screenshot. You have to take 2 fingers and hit them at the same time. That's pretty complicated. And so this, if she clicks screenshot, then it will, there you go. You heard the camera go. And it takes a screenshot and then you've got whatever is on that screen. Has everybody done a screenshot before? Yes.
With an old version of an iPad.
Yeah, it's almost the same. In the newest versions of the iPad, it's just the power button and the volume up, and then you take it together. But you know, sometimes that can take a little while. So yeah, so we've got that. There's also a ton of. Oh, go ahead. Yes, yes.
I was going to say yes. I'm going to let you finish, and then I'm going to take a screenshot, and we'll talk about how to mark up a photo because that's super fun too.
Perfect. That sounds great. So there are a whole bunch of other things down here. Oh, Chris said she just found her volume button. Whoop whoop for victories! I love it. The other ones are very sophisticated. In the motor section, they, like I said, you can control the iPad with just turning your head, opening your mouth, blinking your eyes. They have accessibility switches that like you could hit with your head to be able to do that. And all of those things require a lot of settings. And so I would not, I mean, there's no reason for most people to go in to some of these areas, but if you had a problem with your iPad, there are always ways around it. Say the button, your volume button broke. There are 3 other options that you could do. You could even stick out your tongue and make the volume go up. So let's see, is there something else? I didn't want to spend a ton of time on it because it's, these are really things that are very in-depth, but if anybody's interested in giving access to somebody who has a motor control issue of one way or another, I would be glad to spend a session with you and go over some of the things, especially voice voice control is one of my favorite things to do, because you can control it just with your voice and tell it to open and click and things like that. The other thing that I would turn on is pointer control, which is one screen back.
Oh, can I show before we go? So notice on mine,
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
yeah.
one here. So notice mine says home screen, Siri, and screenshot. You can customize what is there, and you can add icons. So if I wanted 5, if I wanted 6, but I only have 4, and then by hitting a plus, these are all the things you can choose to add to it. So
Can we do the
when-
pinch one? Because that's my
Yeah.
favorite one. I love
I
how
just lost
complicated.
it. There we go.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
So now I have that, and when I go back and I open this and I do pinch, my student just needs to pull this. Oops.
You could do it on your photo that you took.
Oh yeah, let me go back. Oop. Oh, hold on. I gotta turn it off because it's not letting me out. Oh, go back. Yeah, it won't let me out now.
Are you tapping the circle on the control panel?
There we go.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, so if I go to my photos, here's my photo that I took. When I click on this and I pinch, it's
So she
gonna,
just has to use one finger now instead of the pinch and zoom, which is pretty darn cool. And for some students, oh, go ahead, hon.
no, I was gonna say, instead of me taking my fingers and stretching it with my pointer and my thumb, I literally just have my pointer on this green dot and I'm pulling it.
And I have had students who have cerebral palsy who've wanted to do what everybody else is doing, and you can actually program unique movements. So I had a student that we did Angry Birds. She wasn't able to click on the bird and pull it back, and so we made a gesture like that for her because she only had one finger to use. So it was really a great way to show a fun intervention for motor use. Can we turn one more thing on real fast before we go to the next thing?
Absolutely.
Under
Yes.
pointer control, which is about 4 or 5 down. Oh, that must have been new. My apologies. Mine actually has a, whoop, there's Rose. Mine actually has on 16 has a animated one that you can see on the screen.
Oh,
And
awesome.
has a blue outline.
Very cool. Do we want to share? Can we come back to that?
Yeah, we could totally come back to that.
Okay, so another cool thing that is fun and accessibility. So let me shrink my picture back down. So I'm back here on my photo, right? When I tap up here on my photo, notice I have all these options. And when I click edit, I have this little pencil up here. And this little pencil is awesome because it allows for me to be able to mark up this photo. Notice what popped up on the bottom for mark up. This is great to use in preschool all the way through high school. Students are, I can't tell you how many times, this is how I make tutorials too. Because when I can just draw with my pencil and I can say, here's our mouse keys. I can draw this arrow in, right? And then I can save it. When I hit done, it's automatically saved. But when I hit this plus, I can actually pull in shapes. So I can get kind of fancy with my shape, move it over here, and I can say, here's where your Apple ID is. This is where I need you to sign in. I can change the color. You can add in text boxes. You can add in magnifier. You can actually add in a description as well. And that all stays on my photo when I'm done. And then when I hit done, but notice what else popped up. It popped up just a minute ago. It was, oh, here, nope. It went away. I had the little text box in here that would read my photo, but that's okay. So I just wanted to be able to show you guys. Yes, Ann, go ahead.
Oh, the edit, try the edit again, because it should do it.
It was there and then it was gone.
Yeah. Oh, don't cry.
That's okay. We'll come back. So you can always save it. It has a copy or revert to the original. The cool thing is too, is you have all these other really cool editing features that you can click on to enhance your photo. You can crop it, you can change your color contrast, but you can save all these things and make these really cool infographics too, and or tutorials, all through the edit button in Photos. So with that, I'm going to jump to
Do you
Megan,
want
do
to
you
do
wanna-
camera since you're already there?
Sure.
Oh, wait, that was, I was going for the, sorry, the magnifier.
Oh, yeah. Where I have it turned on
Just
from here.
out in the real world. There you go.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do it because you have the cool stuff there?
Sure. All right, let's see if I can get back on again. Yay. And feel free to interrupt us, guys. We're going really fast because we're, you know, don't have a ton of time, but we really want to make sure that it's functional for you. So if you have questions on how to do it, or do you want to see something again, we can either stop or we could send you a video, like a very short video of how we did it. Are we there? Can you hear me?
Yep, you're there. I'm the lucky
Awesome.
person in your screen again.
Oh, are you? Oh, hi! I get to see her twice. It's so good. So in the magnifier, and I'm just gonna go here. There we go. It's built into the system, and I use this all the time on my phone because my husband is constantly getting needles in his fingers from yard work. And so you can start it here, or you can have it launched from the upper right like she did. She did a swipe down, and you can have it live there as the magnifier. So I'm gonna open it up, and here I have a little flower from my my flowering oregano that I have not been taking care of. And so it's flowering all over the place. And I can bring it way in. And you can even see like all the different parts of the flower. You can turn on a flashlight. You can take a picture of it. I need to hold it steadier if I'm going to do that. And you can even change the brightness or a whole bunch of other settings, which are amazing. And I love this feature, especially at restaurants. When I've forgotten my reading glasses, it can be a really handy thing to have around when I need to enlarge text and have it read to me as well. So this is a really easy feature there.
Can I yes and you?
Yes, please.
So we love the magnifying glass too, because so many times we don't have access to microscopes and or like the higher tech ones. So Megan and I actually many moons ago, we were at a training and we decided to use a magnifying glass and capture a photo of zoomed in of a cockroach. And then we app smashed him into chatter pics and we made the cockroach talk. It was so much fun. So if you've never seen the app chatter pics, totally recommend it. It's so much fun. But notice here, Megan is zooming in on the leaf, and what a great way for students to really get that in-depth look at different objects, to capture it. So Megan zoomed in like this, she took that photo. You could then take it into photos and mark it up and talk about the vein, so you can really put in descriptions with a zoomed in photo as well. So thanks, Rose. I love the cockroach that you just added in. So there's so many ways to be able to use that piece of it. And so with that, we have a couple more ooh and ahs. Megan, do you want to? Oh, go ahead. She's going to show the pointer. Yay, because she's got it on hers. Mine's not there.
So the pointer control is the only other thing under the physical one that I really love. And I really love to be able to have a pointer that animates, and for some reason it's not coming up, is it? You can't see my picture. That's so strange. And so when I'm teaching, it usually comes up and I can make it a different color. I can make its border large and it becomes a big circle that can point at things in the screen. And this must be a problem with Zoom. that it's not showing it right now, but it also helps me know what I'm touching when I don't have my glasses on. So I wanted to make sure and show that.
Oh, I love that, Donna. Mystery pictures. The kiddos can guess the zoomed in image. Totally love
Yes.
that.
Yay.
Totally love that. Do you want to show guided access and then we can close out with the live captioning and the alternate keyboards? What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the moment that you guys have all been waiting for. Has anyone used guided access before? No. Okay, so this is so great if you have a kid on your device, or even somebody who you want to restrict to see just one thing, because guided access will basically lock you into an app. So it's all the way down at the bottom, and we're gonna turn it on here. And the only caution I would give you is that when you turn it on, make sure you remember what passcode you use, or you use your Face ID, because if you forget your passcode, it is difficult to get out of. I'm going to set a passcode. I'm going to make it super easy. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Now you guys have to remind me. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. There we go. Now what happens is I can go in. So there's that. Just a second. Just want to make sure. You can set a time limit for someone, so you can actually have it go off after 30 minutes. Like, oh, I'm sorry, the iPad's tired. You have to give it back to me. It won't work. It will even speak a warning. It would definitely turn on that accessibility shortcut because it makes it a lot easier to turn it on and off. And then what we do is we go into any app, and I'm just going to go into Safari since we were already there. And I triple click on my home button, and I'm trying to find my home button because I rotated it around. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And here, this is a shortcut that you could set for any of the accessibility shortcuts. But oops, I don't have it on. Just a second. My apologies. Doop, doop, doop. Let me go back. It's accessibility shortcut is on. Guided access. It's on.
Oh, it's great.
Okay,
Wow.
look at the screen for a second. Yeah, that's weird. 1, 2, 3. It's not letting me do it. Should I jump off?
Yeah, jump off and jump back on because it was grayed out. I wonder if it's because you're projecting.
I wonder.
We've never had that before.
I could do it. I could hold it up. How's that?
Okay.
You guys okay with that? You let me know if you can see it, okay? So I've got guided access, the shortcut on. I'm triple clicking here on my iPad. 1, 2, 3. It's not doing it now.
That's okay.
Yours do it right now?
No, let's see if mine will do it. Because I have a feeling they did something weird with the update. So let's come back to guided access because we don't want to run out of time. So we will hold a special guided access session on that.
That's so sad, because it really is one of the most powerful things. So what happens is, as you triple click, it locks you in that app. And no matter what you do, if you press the power button, the home button, swipe out, you can't get out of that app. And so for kids, that is amazing because then they can't dial somebody's number or go on an inappropriate website or anything like that. I use it constantly with students. Someone says reset. Yeah. So I did want to show you guys one thing that was not projecting earlier, and we saw that it wasn't. In the version 16, there's actually live captions. And so it's just right below. And as I talk, you can turn it on. Is it going, Janae? Is it listening?
It's listening. It's starting, but it's not. There you go. Now it is, because it's gathering everything I'm saying. So your students can sit at their desk and they can have live captioning without having to disrupt or live caption with anybody else in the classroom. So those who need it can have it right at their fingertips with the live captioning. Rose, thank you. We know it works. I wonder why it's just not guided access is just not happening. So how cool is that? So if you look on Megan's iPad, you can see in her tiny window, it says subtitles and captioning, and the new thing that pops up right below says live captioning when you're running iOS 16. So this is under accessibility. So Megan, I wonder if it'll work if you share your screen again, or is it too much?
It wasn't earlier, but let's see.
Okay. Because if not, I can pop back on and share for our grand finale.
Woohoo! Let's see, start broadcast. Let's see if it'll go this time. Go! Hello, hello? Can you see it? No, it's not
Almost.
showing. It's on mine, but you can't see it.
Yeah, nope, it's not showing it. That's okay. But
No
while
problem.
you're there,
Okay, go ahead.
while you're there, do you want to find the translation app that Apple added into the iPad?
So the translation app is automatically installed now on your iPad. Just swipe down from the top and you can just type translate. And it's the one that's black. It has a little world on it, an A and a kanji. This is amazing. So this is what some of the other apps have done from Microsoft, but in a much easier way. So if I go into translation and I'm speaking English and I wanted to do Spanish, all I have to do is hit the microphone on the bottom. Whoops. All right, we're gonna do it live the other way. Did you see that pop up?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a second. We're gonna do it the other way. That's so annoying.
I can share if mine will work too if you want.
Okay, so I'm holding it here. And old fashioned. I should have brought my whoops, sorry.
Here, let me see if mine will work. I'll reshare my screen.
Okay. I think it said it wouldn't do it because of Zoom, so I assume that you won't be able to either.
Okay, here I am. I'm back in. So the first thing we're going to see is, let me move this little guy out. Okay, so when I tap on it, I'm going to click on my microphone and I'm going to start talking and see how it says listening.
Y voy a empezar a hablar y ver cómo dice que está escuchando.
So I have the feature turned on that it's going to automatically speak it. So can you imagine now sitting and having this conversation, even with a parent? You can have the iPad out and you're able to communicate with that parent who has that language barrier. So you're removing that barrier for them and they feel like they're a part of your conversation and a part of your classroom. When you go over here and you click on these three dots, you have some options. So notice that my checkbox says play translation and then also detect the language. But when I come up here at the top and I click the little, looks like a table of contents, I can change it to conversation. And so right now it adds another little menu. When I click on that menu, I can have it face to face. So if I have the iPad in the middle of us and I continue to talk, oh my goodness, this session has been amazing, mind blowing.
Dios mío, la sesión ha sido increíble.
I love it. So it'll just keep going as though we're having a conversation back and forth.
Buenos días, ¿cómo está?
Me encanta. Así que seguirá como si estuviéramos teniendo una conversación de ida y vuelta.
Okay, Megan, go ahead. You talk.
Gemma.
Buenos días, ¿cómo está?
Hablas.
Oh, I wonder why it's doing that. You could do it in both directions.
It just
Oh.
keeps going. So say hola.
Hola.
Hello.
There you go. Somebody said, I wish I had known about this for parent-teacher conferences. It is
Right?
so nice. Yeah.
And then when you also, so when I click on the X here, it brings me back to my main menu. So notice when I click the little drop down, here's all the, here's the different languages I can choose from. And then I can also do it on the same side. So if my parent is speaking in Spanish, I can then have them translate it into English for me. And so the conversation piece is really cool. Again, by getting the conversation, you come over here and you have the conversation, or I can go back to just regular translation. So I'm going to have speak in Spanish and have it translate into English, or I can do the reverse. So if I'm working on French, how cool is this too, to have something for your student who's learning a foreign language? They can have somebody, they can practice and go back and forth with it. So not only is this, I mean, this is for like all over the place that you can use this translation feature. So we literally, yes, go ahead.
The version 16 added another 15 languages on top of the ones that they are now.
Yay!
Yay.
So we are going to leave you with a few tips, because I want you to know this is something that we could spend probably 2.5 days on. So
we used to do a full day training on just iPad accessibility at APS.
we totally can. We should totally offer that. Well, I do know, I think we're going to try to find one. But if you've ever been lost on your iPad and you can't find anything, or if you're like Megan and I and you own 1.5 million apps, because we love to try them out and figure them out, and you're always searching for it, a trick is to take your finger and you want to swipe in between these. So you saw Megan, and that will bring up the search feature. So the search feature allows for you to search for anything on your iPad. Siri is your best friend. Always have Siri on there. And before we leave, I got to show you two things that will blow your mind in Notes. So I'm going to click in Notes and add a new one. With Notes, we have this little guy down here, this microphone. Instantly, you can dictate into your iPad, so we can start taking notes and our students can start talking. And those kiddos in pre-K or kinder, when they're struggling to give you, or everybody wants to tell you their story, have them tell the story right to the iPad. Most of our kiddos know how to do that. The other thing is, then all I do is double click on this. My menu pops up. I can have it speak. I can have it translate. I can have it read to me. With this as well, in Notes, for you as the teacher who's observing people, look what's built in. This camera, when I click on the camera, I can have an instant built-in scanner. I can scan text and have it instantly scan. I can scan a document. I can take a photo. I can insert a photo from my photo library. If I wanted to document this amazing paper that my kiddos did, I can take a photo. So I'm going to take a photo of this. And then I'm going to say use photo. And now I've added this into my notes, so it's documented. So you as a coach, if you're doing observations and you needed some documentation, you can instantly have your annotated notes there, put in a documented picture, maybe show some work, and then you can share that with your co-coaches and give them some feedback. You can also click on this pencil and you can write and draw within here. Now that I had my pencil, I can come in here and I can actually put my name in, I can draw a photo. I could erase this if I wanted to. I can add in, draw with my finger, draw with my pencil. I can use the crayon. If I hold this down on a highlighter, I can make my highlighter larger and I can actually highlight some of my content in here. So, like I said, we literally just scratched the surface and now we are over our time, but we hope you have come and had some mind-blowing experience with this accessibility throwdown with our text bits, and know that you can reach us at NMUDL. Nope, just kidding. What is our, it's been a long day. What is our email address?
NMUDL coaches.
That's what it is.
CRECNM.org. There we go.
Thank you. So, oh my goodness.
Have a wonderful night, guys. Were you going to add something? My apologies.
I was going to say, we're going to leave you with this to go explore on your own. Oh, we're going to leave you to explore.
You, Chris. Let us know if you have any questions.
We want you to explore this app on your own. Lens. It used to be called Microsoft Lens or Office Lens, but now it is just called Lens. Please take this one. It is free. And explore it on your own. But don't be afraid. You cannot break anything on the iPad. 95% of what we showed you works on your iPhone. And contact us. We're more than happy to share and help and give you more tips and tricks. So thank you guys. Have a great evening. We'll hang tight if there's a couple questions.
Oh, okay, cool.
Chris, I'm glad you got in. Rose, sorry you're in the wrong Zoom. I'm glad we got you in. Hi, Charlotte.
That's okay. I had another Zoom, and so I jumped off after that one was over and came back.
Hadn't seen y'all in forever.
I know, we've missed you.
I know. Glad you're back. Hey, Megan, I have a
Have
question
you-
about the live captions.
Yes.
Is that for just, I don't see it on my iPad.
You have to be in the latest version of 16, are you?
I thought I was. Let's double
Let's
check.
see. Mine is
Yeah, mine showed up.
16.1.1.
It says live captions, then it's beta. It's under accessibility.
Okay, yes, got it.
Awesome.
Right?
That's
Game
so-
changer,
Yes.
huh?
Yes, love it.
There's some really cool new features with 16. I've just been geeking out. So
Yeah. I've seen a few, they're good.
Rose, have you
Good
been able
ideas.
to get the guided access to work in closed captioning or in 16?
Yeah, well, yes, I had a student just a couple of weeks ago. He got locked out. And so he said his dad changed the password on him and we couldn't get him because dad was like, no, I didn't do that. And either the kid did it or dad did it and maybe didn't want him on there. So, but yeah, we finally got him in. That's the only thing is remembering the passcode. And he
Ooh,
couldn't
and
remember the password.
In 16, they added a Face ID.
Yeah. We have a lot of our kids who are using that too.
I wonder why the
That's-
accessibility shortcut wasn't working.
I don't know that well. And see, and he was not on 16.1 yet. So I'm wondering if that's something.
could have been.
Hey, Janae.
Yes.
Rose had a hard time getting in. I sent her the link. I emailed it to her, but the one that she had wasn't working.
So I
I-
went off of the one from the writers from the last one because that's a reoccurring link. That's the one you always use, right? Bye, Tim.
So the
And
TechBit
so-
ones, we made a new one because that was separate from our
Okay.
cafe. So I think that's why, because I got an email that you joined and I panicked. I was like, no.
Well, and you know what? And I went to the registration link that you posted in social media, and it was just an attendance one.
Ooh.
Oh, did I post the wrong one?
Because that was the one I looked at. I said, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll register. But then it just took me to the
Was it purple or was it orange?
it was on Instagram.
Okay, let me see which one I posted because I doubt I posted the purple one. And after you fill out the form, you get the Zoom link.
Okay.
Let me see. Who knows? I was
You ready
doing
for
like 90,
Thanksgiving, Rose?
I was doing 95,000 things, so it could have been.
I'm hoping to go to Texas, but I don't know. Everybody's dropping like flies around us with COVID.
Everyone's
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry,
so-
Rose. The one I posted would have gotten you the it would have sent you the Zoom link if you'd filled it out, even though it said
Okay.
registration. It actually was or attendance. It actually was registration. So
It was, so that is the right one then?
yeah.
Okay.
So
Um,
I'm sure we're gonna do some do-overs, but Tech Cafe, I think our cafe will be back in December. I don't know. We're kind of committed now to do some of these tech bits as well. So
Nice. I like that. It's actually perfect because I'm doing a accessibility training or session with CNM
nice.
in
Oh, awesome.
January. So that'll be fun. Fun. All right, ladies. Well, I won't keep you any longer because I know it's been a
No.
long day.
Yes, it has been a long day.
We'll see y'all later. Take care.
We'll see you
Bye,
soon.
Rose.
Bye.
thank
Bye.
you.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
Look where I'm at. Let
Where
me
you
turn
at?
it around. Let me turn. How do I turn my camera around?
On
Or maybe
the
I'll just
bottom?
go like this.
Aw.
They started basketball practice, and one day a week they get the gym, and the other one we get to come freeze.
I was like, you look like
So-
you're freezing your tush off.
It is cold, yeah. Well, it starts at 4 and I got here a little bit late, but I was supposed to bring him a basketball. So I was like running, and then I go to grab the basketballs and they're flat. And then I get a call from the West Las Vegas high school vice principal, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm gonna join them Friday, the high school English teachers, to teach them about UPAR. So that's awesome. We talked to
Oh,
him
great.
yesterday. Yeah, and he coordinated it, so that's exciting.
Yay.
But you guys are awesome. Like I was sitting there before I left my house and I had my phone and my iPad and I was like doing everything you guys were saying. I hated to have to leave, but I was like, at least I'll have my phone with me at practice.
Yay. Oh, wait, it's still recording. So I'll stop. Let me stop recording.
Okay.